even know if these are episodes, Marlo. I don't really know what to call these, but they're user spotlights, interviews with Trace users to kind of get to know each other more, to hear about all the amazing people who are on Trace right now and what they're doing, and just spend a little time with them. And then hopefully, if you vibe with Marlo or any of our other past Logan, our past guests or our future guests, you can go follow them, ally them on Trace, and become friends. So Marlo, thanks so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hi.
Awesome. So very very generic of us. We like to just do like name, age, pronouns, and how you self-identify. So I'll go first. So my name's Aiden. I'm 35. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I identify as a transgender man.
Nice. I'm Marlo. My pronouns are they, them, or he, him. I'm 28. Yeah, not 29 yet. I'm half French, half Cambodian. I live in Vancouver, and yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I always have to remember, like, what age am I? I'm like, no, I'm 35. That's the age I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget. It's the truth. So awesome. So I've been talking to Marlo. We've chatted a few times, and their story stood out to me in just like the industry they're in, where they come from, as far as their like intersectionality of being trans. And so I'd love for you to just maybe tell people a little bit about like who are you, what do you do, and like why why do you do it? Like how did you get into it, rather? Because it's unique. It's not every day you hear someone who does what Marlo does. So I'd love for you to share.
Okay. Let me shed some light. Okay. So, um, so I do stunts in films. Yes, I used to do martial arts in high school, and I have a passion for action and films. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be an action actor. So I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to do action, and all this started in Asia. I arrived in China. I wanted to make my dream come true. And I went to a film school. I went to a stunt action school. And yeah, I ended up here in Vancouver doing that, doing my dream. I doubled for a lot of females at that time. Now I'm trying to double for men, for for cisgender men, because there's not a lot of trans stunt people yet. So yeah.
So how did you know you wanted to be the person who gets like beat up or like blown up in a movie, as opposed to just like being the actor that you know isn't blown up? Like, how did you decipher that was where you wanted to go? Like, what about it turned you on?
Okay, what turned me on for that? I like getting beat up. It's weird to say. It's weird to say, right? It's
Yeah, it
weird.
is weird to say.
But it's like, the actors don't always get to do their stunts. And if I was going to be in a movie, I want to do my own stunt because that's what's interesting. No? I mean, for me, I feel like that's where the excitement of making a movie is for me. When I do my own action, I'm like, yay, that's what I'm here for. But I also didn't want to stay in the shadow and just be a stunt person. So I'm like, I really push to be like, hey, here's my face, and this is also me doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, did you start off doing like more specific stunt work and then started slowly moving more into a little bit of like what's his name? Like the Tom Cruise, where like you do the acting and the stunts?
Yeah. I was definitely more attracted to Jackie Chan at that time, more than Tom Cruise, but because I'm like more Asian specialized style.
Right.
But
Yes, my white showing.
yeah, yeah. So no, you know what happened is I was in South Korea. I entered that Seoul Action School that I saw on TV, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna show up and ask them if I can be part of their school. and nobody spoke English at that time. And I was like using my little Korean that I learned online, and they accepted me. They were like, yeah, I mean, we can see your demo reel. You look like you really want to be here. So yeah, like join us and see if you can stay, because it's really hard. So I arrived in that school, and there was like 40 people started, and then at the end we were like 6 people, because the training was really hard. It was really intense. They were making you bleed, puke, all of that, clean the school afterwards. It was cool though. I really enjoyed the experience of being there. And then, yeah, there was that guy. He was chilling on a fake car to do like for stunts. And I went to talk to him, and he's like, why are you here? And I said, well, I want to be, like doing stunts and do films. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'm filming in Macau. Actually, we're doing like a K-drama. Did you want to be part of it? And I said, yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Like, what is there to do? Like, I was so young. I was like, yeah, I do anything. Fake it till you make it. So yeah, I went to Macau with them, and I had this very short and sweet little scene where I was speaking Chinese. I was a Chinese spy, and yeah, that was cool because I spoke Chinese. I still speak Chinese, but not as well, as good as before. And yeah, I acted with some Korean actors, and I did my stunts where they threw me around. And it was cool. I really liked that. That was my first gig doing stunt acting.
Well, like I said, it's not every day you meet someone who like, is a stunt actor. Is that technically the term?
Yeah, that's the term, yeah.
So like a stunt actor, I just think it's cool. I mean, like I've never been like punched in the face ever in my life. You know what I mean? So like I have no idea. Like I'm just like, wow, that probably hurts. Have you gotten like hurt like for realsies in like a shoot?
So after Korea, I moved to London to continue this journey of stunts. And I was on Into the Badlands. It's a TV series. Mm-hmm. It was filmed in Ireland, and the people working on it are like Jackie Chan OG team, working Hong Kong style stunts that like boom, kaka boom, clack, you get hurt kind of, thing. And yeah, so I was doubling, and they called me for that scene. They're like, okay, it's a truck. You're going to be on top of the truck, and you're going to break inside the breakaway. You're going to jump on that guy and just land onto him inside the truck. And it's like, I don't know, like 2.5 height.
Right.
And I'm like looking at it. I'm like, okay, so I'm truly scared as fuck inside. I'm like shitting myself seeing the height. I'm like, okay, we're doing this.
Right.
And so they bring me inside the truck, and they're like, okay, so yeah, look around. This is where you're going to land. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, so where are the mats? It's like, oh, well, there's no mats, but we can, what we can do is use the, like the wood part, like we can put maybe a mat under the wooden part. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's totally do that. And so for the rehearsal, of course, they put mats, right? So we have those mats to land on. And so they put the mats, and we do the rehearsal. And on the rehearsal, I jump onto the guy, we break through the truck, and we land inside, and I fall next to him. So I'm like next to the guy. And then they're like, oh, actually, you're supposed to land onto him. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they look again at the gig, and they're like, no, you know what? Land next to him now. I'm like, okay, let's do that. And so we did the rehearsal like twice. And then we go to it, like 3, 2, 1, action. I jump onto the guy. We fall inside the truck. I fall next to him, and I land all here.
Oh.
And we see on the shot, I do like boom, boom. It's
like bounce off the ground.
I bounced off the fucking ground, bro. And and like I feel okay. So I felt it. I felt like my organs like blew up inside.
Oh.
And I was like,
Oh my
what
gosh.
happened? Am I alive? What's going on? And so I kind of like take my breath. I'm like,
yeah.
and then he's like, wait, keep acting. They're filming. And I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm hurt, but I'm truly hurt. And so no, it was fun. So they say cut. I get up, and I'm like, I'm fine, but I'm not sure. So can we just have the medic come to just check?
Yeah.
And yeah, he checked, and he's like, no, it's fine. Yeah, you're fine. I'm like, okay. Well, that was it. And they checked the tape again. They're like, you know what? Wow, that was a one shot. That was great. We got it.
Nice.
And the second unit action director comes and he's like, that was good. That was good.
You're like,
And
I
then
almost
the
died.
team, yeah. Yeah, you know, I was still like a newbie at that time, and I was
Yeah.
trying to do like really hard stuff, and
Yeah.
I'm proud of me.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, I just was like Googling because, you know, I go in feet, right? But like that's just about like 10 feet drop, like a 10-foot drop. And like
Yeah,
I know that legally, like I think like a 12-foot drop is considered like a deadly drop. So like,
yeah,
right? Something like that. So like it's really pretty close.
it was.
So like first, that's like I just feel like you could just tell me all of your crazy stories forever. They're very entertaining, and I'm happy you're alive and like healthy. Um,
I'm
but
good.
also like you know just to, like intertwine some of like the transness and like the non-binariness into the
Yeah,
story. Like so at that time you were being cast for female roles, so you were
yeah,
playing a female role at that time.
yeah. I was mostly like doubling females.
So doubling, can you explain that to me? Like, what does that mean?
So when you stunt double, the main actor comes in for his dialogue, and as soon as there is a stunt or an action, a punch comes in, a kick or whatever, or a fight, I step in.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, but I want to confirm. So like, so you were doubling, stunt doubling, and how were you feeling like about like your trans status at the time? Like, did you know you were trans? Were you in the LGBT community? Like, can you tell me a little bit about like how you came to like I don't like how'd you come to know like you were trans, and then
Yeah.
how did that affect you like your work? Are you seeing different now? Like I'm curious about, that within, we kind of know what it's like in Hollywood a little bit, right? But you're like in a very niche community of Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of curious if you could share a little bit about that personal journey and then, like your work.
So I was a bit of everything, very gender fluid. I always knew that I was a boy, at least in my dreams, since I was like 3 years old. Always seen myself like that, always wanted a beard, always anything masculine, it's me, I'm here. I'm there. As an actor, it's like I watch movies. What I relate to is the main actor, not the actress. The actor is going to be the guy. I'm going to be the guy. I want to be the actor. Then when I started stunts, of course, I was female figure. Right away, I'm associated with, okay, who can you double? Who do you look like? So when I come into double, I'm wearing heels, I'm wearing skirts, I'm wearing like super sexy stuff. Makeup full on, long hair, all that comes in. How did it make me feel? I don't know, because I was like a baby. I was trying to get into the industry. So I kind of like repressed myself a little bit, like, it's okay, you can bear that. You can do it. You can wear all that. And I saw it as like, I'm dragging, oh, let's be a drag queen a little bit. Every time I step on set, I'm like, a nice opportunity to be able to have makeup, fake eyelashes, because I will never do that in my real life. So I was like, yeah, let's do all that. I'm quite happy. I'm paid for it. That's amazing,
Right.
So let's do it. After, I'd say like 5 years and a half in stunts, I started to feel a little bit like, okay, this is getting heavy. I I really like doubling people, but at some point I want to reconnect with myself and be who I am. So I was ready to just, if it affects my career in stunts, it's okay. You know what? There's always something else to do in the world. So, and I had enough too. I'm like, it's okay. I've done stunts. I've done that. So yeah, I transitioned 2021. I woke up, and you know what? Before that, there was I watched so much thing on the internet, and I think you were a big part of my journey too. You know, like you were like the first person I watched on YouTube, and I watched a lot of trans people to really make up my mind. I'm like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. There's so many people doing that. Okay, it's fine. You gotta be yourself at some. And the question I asked was, if I die tomorrow, am I gonna be fine that I lived everything I needed to be on this earth? Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I was like, no, there's one thing, and I need to do it for myself. It's not for anybody else. It's really, I need to live this life. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be happy, you know? Mm-hmm. And so I woke up in February and I contacted the doctor. I said, hey, I need a top surgery. And nobody knew. Mm-hmm. My family, no one, my girlfriend, no one knew. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? And it's okay if no one knows, because they don't need to know. Mm-hmm. I just need to do it for me. And after that, everybody will adapt. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of people were shocked. A lot of people were like, wow, that came out of nowhere. Like you just woke up, you know? And I was like, yeah, but for me, it's been like since I'm 3 years old. So, you know, right. Yeah.
So you got top surgery and then you decided to take hormones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that, like, for anybody who's watching or listening, like, I think so many people think that there's like a specific way.
Yeah.
You have to like do it, whatever it
yeah.
is. And it's like, or you can just like do whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You can do whatever.
Just do it. Like we're just all making this shit up. We're just like, do it this way. And it's like, and then people are like, oh, that's how you do it. And it's like, or do what you want. So I'm happy that like you were able to do what you wanted and not, you know what I mean? And so would you say, like, you don't have to get like specific if you don't want to, would you say that though, like now it's been a few years, like people are accepting, like your family, or like how are things, in that realm?
So starting with my girlfriend, we met in South Korea 6 years ago. She has always been so open about me and about her own like identity and gender and whatever she feels. It's been just like we're humans. So in that relationship, I felt so confident and comfortable, like I can be whoever the fuck I want. She won't really care. Mm. And so, yeah, she was the first one who already kind of knew and felt like when I was watching your videos or other people's video, she was like, if you ever, like change or, I'll be fine. It's fine. And that made everything so easier for me, because I was like, at least there's one person who's like, it's fine. And that gave me the power to, I was like, okay, she said it's fine, right? Okay, it's fine. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Then friends wise, like other friendship around the world, it's been great. Good. I think the friends I made around the world when I was traveling, when I was younger, were so accepting of just who I am as a person, more than whatever the fuck I look like. If I'm a sexy girl or a really handsome boy, they never really cared. They were just like, oh, you changed your name, okay, Marlo, yeah, whatever, it's you're just a cool, fun person to hang out with. So that I was really happy with. And then my family is a bit different. I'd say I told my sister, who's a doctor, and my other sister, who's 1 year older than me. They accepted. It was just really hard for them to change the name and the pronouns. And I just think this because they're not seeing LGBTQ people every day. They're not in this world. They have another world they're living. So when I come in, I'm like, hey, I'm trans. They're like, oh, okay. So what is it? What's going on? Like why? And I'm like, well, there's no really why. There's just like it's it's me. Like accept me. So yeah, it's been hard, but I think they needed time, and it's okay. I understand some people need time. It's just sometimes I get very frustrated because I'm like, I don't understand why you need time, but it's fine. Let's respect everyone. So yeah, and even my mom now, I think it was the hardest one. My mom. um, she still uses in French, my darling to the feminine side, and but she tries. I think she tries, and I want to think that she tries. But it's also hard because our relationship is not as close as it was. Which is very distant. She lives in France and I live in Canada, and I don't see her often. We don't talk often. But yeah, it's going. It's a process, right?
Yeah, no, I think for most people it's a process. I think like different families respond differently and everyone's process looks a little bit different. And for those who choose and feel as if the process is not so painful that they can't bear it, it is a process, and it's sometimes, and it hurts, and then other times there's moments of like, wow, like my dad sent me a card and it said son, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
like all these little things that are really awesome, and you can see the progress. And I think like, culturally there's just like different families respond differently because it matters to them in different ways, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that is also a big factor as well. And also just like, that culture also is involved in where you live and your heritage. Like there's a lot of different things there. So I'm happy that like you feel like your family is trying. I think even that can feel good, like that they care enough to try is not has that too. So like, can you share with me a little bit of, I mean, I actually I have two questions, and I'm just out there, so I want you to tell me how you want to respond to them. So the first question is like, when we talked the first time, we talked a little bit about like just that differences in like what it is to like fit into the standards of the differences between being a, quote unquote, like a female stunt actor to a quote unquote male stunt actor. And I'm really curious, like, what if you feel like you can name any of those things, an example of one, and if there is, like, do you feel pressure to fit into those standards even if you don't really align with them?
So the standard of Hollywood, like stunt actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Hollywood does have a lot of standard. And like I I used to want to fit in, but it's funny, like we have this interview today, and I'm feeling like I'm questioning a lot of things and decisions in my life and my career as well. Because the thing that when you climb this Hollywood ladder, this entertainment mountain, there's a lot of pressure. And you kind of also, if you're not really strong with yourself, you really can lose yourself with that industry because you try to be somebody else, all the time. And that's what happened a little bit with me. I just felt like I started having a lot of anxiety being around so many people, about crews. You see people all the time, and when I transitioned, I made my circle in the community here of stunts and actors, and it was a little bit hard to see everyone, every day, different crews, different units, and having my old name come back, and my old pronouns come back all the time. And it was also hard for them to understand where I was at, especially like when you transition, you're like at 3-4 months on testosterone. It's like barely seeing the changes, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they don't put much effort, and there's so many people, and you cannot spend so much time saying, hey, oh, my pronoun is they, or my pronoun is he, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they keep making mistake, and when they make mistake, they're like, oh, sorry, but I love you. And it's like, oh, I don't know how to react to that. What? You know, it's there was a lot of frustration, I think, at the beginning. I feel like people now know more. They understood. I told a lot of people, and they saw my Instagram, and they start to understand. What I didn't really like, and I think this is not just about the film industry, is just the standard of what is for, I mean, people. What is a man? What is a woman? If you have a beard, oh, I'll see you as a man. No, it's not because I have a beard that I'm a man, or you know, or it's not because you don't see my crotch has like a dick, then oh, you don't have, or you have, or you know, all these things that for them it makes, oh, I will say he because I see that those features. I'll say she because but you still look like a girl, so I can still say she, and I'm like, what? Okay, but you know, it's a lot, and I question myself about these things. I was like, what am I gonna do? I cannot change the world. I cannot change people, but I can try to live with what's happening, and I can choose my fights. Do I want to spend my energy telling these people I'm around all day with? Do I want to spend my energy, you know, and I didn't want to spend more energy, to be honest. I'm like really tired.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a bit of a struggle to deal with. Now, as a trans actor, trying in this Hollywood industry, I think I'm really short. I'm like 5'3". So, I mean, casting a stunt actor who is 5'3", it's gonna be hard. But it can happen, you know. I should just probably produce the movie myself.
There you go. That's one way to do
Totally.
it. I love it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I can imagine just like, especially when I think of like stunts and high action, it's always like some, if it's not some old Hollywood guy, you know, it's like a young, tall, white, handsome, you know what I mean? Like, you know, buff. Like he doesn't look buff, but then he takes off his shirt and you're like, wow, your biceps are like 24 inches. You know, it didn't look like that, but it is true. So yeah, I mean, I think like that's, but like power to you, like to know that like you have a skill and a craft, and that I think also I think it's like there is a representation that's missing from male characters in all movies, right? And that is that we don't all look like that. You know what I mean? And so hopefully, like, you know, with you trying to step into more acting as well and being able to do your own stunts and like, you know what I mean? I think that's really cool. And you said something that was interesting that I kind of wanted to like land on as we wrap up, which is you said that, you know, it's like it's fucking exhausting sometimes to just always tell every single person your whole thing. And then, you know, so, you know, I'm curious, like we're on here right now, like you're doing this interview, it's gonna go out to all of our users. You're in the Trace community. People can, you know, look you up, find you, follow you, become friends. And I'm also curious, like why have this conversation today? Why let people know you exist? Like what about it feels good to you?
To share my experience, to share this. Wow. Oh, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think that the reality is that like you could just not. You could just not. Like,
yeah, let's see it like that. That's good. That's good. You're good at asking that. Yeah, why letting people know? I think if I had a message, I would just say anyone who is trying, whatever your gender and your identity, if you try to be in the industry of films or the entertainment, just keep being yourself, because that's what happens. People imprint on you, the society, your friends, even your parents, but especially that industry will imprint on you, and you kind of start losing who you really are and what you believe in. But always remember your craft and your skills, what you can do, because that's what makes you strong. That's what makes you. That's what makes you unique. So never forget that. Whatever people are going to say, they will always say something. So just like be you all the time. And yeah, like just that's what life is about. I think life is the process. It's not the where you're gonna end, like I'm gonna get this big role. No, it's like the journey to get to that big role. That's actually what life is about. So if you are going to try.
Yeah.
Because we forget that, and then we get really sad and upset and anxious. So yeah.
Yeah. Even though I am not a stunt actor, I don't identify as an actor or anything like that. I definitely can relate to a lot of things you're saying, as just far as like what like the industry, or just like, because Hollywood, like it's all starting to get intertwined with social media as well, and like influencer and all this stuff, and like, I can relate to a lot of what you're saying, because I feel like that started to happen to me, like, and that's when in the last like 2 years I really pulled back from sharing every single part of my life, because it felt like all of a sudden I was, not that I didn't feel like I was being authentic, but it did feel like I was performing in some capacities, and not like performing of like, this is who I am and I'm performing for you. It was more of like, oh, this is what I have to do because of who I am. And so I'm like, I relate to a lot of what you're saying, and I love that message of just like, if you're gonna be in Hollywood, like you can try, like you can act, you can be stunt double, like, but that's not who you are. It's just a part of you, and like you're putting on an outfit and you take it off and you get to go back to who you are. Like,
yes. Yes. Preach. Let's go.
I think
you said it.
Great.
Nice.
Awesome. So, I've really enjoyed our conversation, and again, like I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think that there is a lot of room for people in our community to like share what we do. Like I've met a lot of fucking trans people, and I've never met anyone who does like stunt acting. So I was just like, cool. Like I could totally like get, sit with you for 3.5 hours by a fire and hear of all the
I really enjoy our conversation. I feel like there's so much to talk about. It's really
exactly. So like with your permission, right, like, we welcome everybody who, if you're interested in Hollywood, if you're interested in stunt acting, to and Marlo as an ally on Trace. Are you in, like, do you have any channels that you check out often, or that you're in, or anything like that you want to share?
I'm into filmmaking and K-drama.
Oh, nice. Here we go.
I'm looking for more gay K-drama, lesbian, trans. I need the Korean dramas to be more open to that, because I really like that.
Well, make your own. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yes.
It'll be a drama where you're getting thrown off of like 12-foot story things. Be a very action-packed drama.
I love that.
Okay, well, Marlo, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'll leave all of your stuff down below so people can hit you up. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much.